Hello Internet, and welcome to my much-delayed first My Hero Academia review for episode 59. I said way back at the beginning of July that I would be adding My Hero Academia Season 3 and Steins Gate Zero to the lineup, and I finally caught up with both, so their last 4 or 5 episodes will be on the channel. Yeah, that's going to be coming soon. Steins Gate Zero will be on Wednesday or Thursday probably. But anyway, when we last left off, we had a random prologue to the movie that I still have not seen yet, because I'll be seeing that in theaters by the end of the month, probably. But where the real last episode, 57, was, the rescue operation part of the provisional license exam was underway, and right as the gang was not doing too great at saving people because they don't really have all the experience they really need, but they were starting to get the hang of it, and then Gang Orca, playing a villain, showed up to fuck with them even more. And so when we open up, we first have this really long flashback because we've been 2 weeks off the air. And then we get to some board members, like adults in the world, talking about the exam, like from 3 weeks prior to this. And I do really like the government's plan of, like, now that the symbol of peace, All Might, is gone, and now that there is no one who has that charisma and the strength to be All Might, to be the symbol of peace, that they're kind of replacing that by just having a bunch of really unified heroes, and that the provisional license exam is specifically designed to, like, bolster that. I felt like that was a really smart move on the government's part, and I really like seeing that. But after we see that little scene, we find out how the examiner man, whose name I'm forgetting, is scoring, is how the exam is working. Sleepy Dude. That's his name until someone tells me what it is. His name is Sleepy Dude. And Sleepy Dude is explaining that, everyone starts off with 100 points, and then they lose points by being bad at rescuing, either by not using their quirk in the right way, or by being mean, or by ignoring people. And as an example of failure, we see Bakugo's score. And we see Bakugo drop below 50. So I have to ask, is that how we saw Bakugo fail? Did we find out Bakugo failed this whole exam through Sleepy Dude's montage? Like, that's just so bonkers to me. But alright, I think Bakugo lost the exam like that. That's just how it happens sometimes. But meanwhile, Bakugo is busy, saving people all episode, and he completely misses out the Gang Orca fight. But we see everyone team up to try to, like, stop Gang Orca and help the citizens get away. The Help Us Company people. And everyone's kind of, like, trying to stave off Gang Orca, but by the end of it, everyone is getting the citizens away, leaving just Todoroki and Yoarashi to fight off Gang Orca, while the rest of them try to save the citizens. And that's where things get a little rocky. Because we already knew that Yoarashi he didn't like the UA people. We find out in this episode is more specifically the Todorokis. When almost immediately, Todoroki tried to use his ice powers on Gang Orca, and saw that it didn't work, because Gang Orca just destroyed the ice. So he tries to use the fire, like he should have, while Yoarashi stupidly tries to use his wind, and then Yoarashi gets mad that Todoroki was doing the smart move there. And I just did not like Yoarashi at all this episode, and I'm going to go into a lot of detail as to why I think everything about Yoarashi was just really poorly done. Which also will tie in some of my latent problems with the show as a whole that I'll get into. So we find out, we knew that Yoarashi not liking Endeavor makes sense. Given that Yoarashi's all, like, passion and energy and loving people, and Endeavor's all like, I don't give a shit, I want to be the best, and that's about it. But Yoarashi's whole deal, all of his problems with UA, with the Todorokis, with everything, is that Endeavor was mean to him one time. Okay. I mean, it's not even like, sure, Endeavor's a dick. We're all well aware Endeavor is a dick. But from what I could tell in the flashback, Yoarashi was kind of in the way, and sure, I'm not trying to defend Endeavor, because Endeavor does not deserve anyone's defending. I heard he gets slightly better in the manga, but I've not read the manga, so at this point, he deserves no one's defending. But Yoarashi got this whole complex because Endeavor was mean to him one time. It's just kind of pathetic. And the show does a lot to try to compare Yoarashi's, oh, Endeavor was mean to me once, to Todoroki's, years of abuse at the hands of Endeavor. And that leads to a problem I really feel like no one really talks about in My Hero Academia, is it has this bad habit of creating these gigantic false equivalencies. Going way back, this is my first review, so I'm going to go way back. The first time it really pops up is when Dog Detective, after the Stain arc, approaches Ida and Deku and Todoroki, and is like, yeah, you all did the wrong thing for your actions during the Hosu incident. And for Ida, I will admit he has a point. All of Ida's actions in that arc were based on revenge. Revenge. He's lost sight of saving Native. But the same cannot be said for Deku and Todoroki. Deku and Todoroki undoubtedly did the right thing in that arc. And I have not had the chance to rant about this. I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant. I have another point here that I want to bring up. And so when Dog Detective compares the two of them to villains, say like, oh yeah, if you break the rules, you're a villain. That leads to some problems. Because, no they're not. If Deku and Todoroki had not been there, Ida and Native would have died. No one was coming to save them. They're the reasons those two people survived. And by penal, I get not wanting to, Dog Detective's actions in that arc of not wanting to publicize that some kids beat Stain. All right, that's fine. But to get super mad at them for saving the day, for being the reason Ida and Native are alive, that pissed me off. And that's a real false equivalency. And for more direct false equivalency, go to the right before the Hideout Raid arc, when Suyu, who I love, I'm a huge Suyu fan most of the time, except this one incident, where she says something to the effects of, if you break the rules and try to save Bakugo, aren't you no different than a villain? What? That's the biggest false. No, because I know I'm spending way too much time on this, but this is something that means a lot to me, and I've been really angry about this for like a year now. Because somehow, in Suyu, and seemingly the show's mind, saving Bakugo is the same thing as kidnapping Bakugo. What kind of centrist bullshit is that? It's just nonsense. And then we see it again, here, though far less dramatically, by the show trying to say that Yoarashi getting shoved aside one time by Endeavor is the same thing as the years and years of abuse Endeavor put into Todoroki. And so it's a general thing that My Hero Academia has a problem with. Though I will say, I really did love the beat, where Todoroki's I don't really, Yoarashi compares Todoroki to Endeavor, and Todoroki's wondering why it's riling him up so much, because he's put his hatred for his father behind him, and he realizes, no he hasn't. That part is still ingrained into him, that hatred for his father. And that was a really good bit. I really do like when shows don't try to get past these huge mental issues, in the span of a few episodes. I mentioned that with my Boruto video for episode 70, with Metal's anxiety. Again, here with Todoroki's abuse at the hands of Endeavor, these aren't things that go away overnight, and I love the fact that they are not, that this show is not afraid to address that. And that was great. And it was great, I will admit, at the end of the episode, when Yoarashi and Todoroki have their whole flame cyclone going. That's a really cool scene. I do think that they both deserve to fail the exam either way, because they absolutely fucked up with their too busy fighting each other to focus on the mission, which I completely forgot to mention in my ranting about false equivalencies. But yeah, but it was nice even coming together at the end. I hope that's not enough to give them the provisional license. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And then we cut to, so the Gang Orca's henchmen all go to chase down the other heroes, because Gang Orca seems to have Todoroki and Yoarashi under control, until he doesn't, but that's before this. And As they're fighting, we find out that Suyu learned to be a chameleon out of nowhere, which is cool. I still love Suyu, even if her bit during the Bakugo incident was a bunch of bullcrap. That was great. And then was probably my favorite little like visual gag of the episode. Not a visual gag, but even like a plot gag. Is when everyone's like, yeah, the flame tornado was gonna like dry out Gang Orca. And Gang Orca pulls out a water bottle and douses himself in it. It's so funny. It's so weird. Like, it's smart that he'd like bring water bottles, but like, just the sight of your big like mob boss villain dousing himself in water bottles. It's just really funny. And then right at the end of the exam, Deku, or like I think Orca's like broken free of the flame cyclone because Todoroki and Yoarashi are really beat up, and he's right about to like beat them. And Deku was like, I forget the exact line, but I think it's something like, I'd really appreciate it if you back off my friends. And it's super polite. Deku's a good kid, and I love him so much. Deku's a pure boy. And then, but as that Deku versus Gang Orca fight is right about to start, the exam ends. Sleepy Dude announces that, all the citizens have been saved, therefore the exam ends. And right in the final scene of the episode, the gang they've announced the scores, they've tallied all the scores, they've about to reveal who's going to be a hero or a villain. Midoriya is looking through, trying to find his name because it's all alphabetical. We see him gasp, and the episode ends. And I was kind of disappointed there because for a second, so when the scene first started, I was like, oh no, they're going to do that cliche cliffhanger where where the other characters find out the name of who passed, but we don't just yet. And I'm like, oh no, here we go again. We got to wait a week for the scene they could have just showed us right now. And then as Deku was looking for his name, I was like, oh shit, they're not doing that. That's going to be really good. We're going to actually find out here. It's not going to be some stupid cliffhanger. And then it was the stupid cliffhanger. Alright. Whatever, I can wait a week. It's fine. But yeah, this episode, I gave this episode a lot of crap. But that's just because I started talking about other things about the series that needed a lot of crap. But yeah. So hopefully, I remember my first thought when I heard about this provisional license exam is that it would get rid of those false equivalencies I was talking about, just because those were all based in not having the legal right to do hero work. And now when they get the license, they will have that, and so we won't have to deal with all that bullshit. That's gonna be real nice. Assuming, the people who get it are the ones we focus on, given that I'm pretty sure Bakugo failed in that little montage, and I can't imagine Todoroki passing after the shit he pulled. Yeah, that's kind of my guess. I don't know who else would pass or fail. I feel like Deku's failed a lot. He deserves to win this one. But yeah. So, all in all, this was a pretty good episode, even if I like the bit of seeing that Todoroki is still not over the abuse. Other than that, I found Yoarashi honestly to be kind of annoying. In all honesty, he just kind of got old real fast. Other than that, this was a fun episode. This was, it's My Hero Academia. It's still good. Even on a bad day, it's still pretty good. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for this week's episode. I hope you all enjoyed the episode and the video. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. And as always, people, keep kicking ass, and I'll see you in the future. Bye.